I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth.
With these words from US President J.F. Kennedy in May 1961, he started a race to the moon between the Soviet Union and the United States. In the course of the next few years, the two superpowers tried to get ahead of each other's space programs. Despite the fact that the space race already started much earlier than 1961, it got to its peak in the following years of Kennedy's speech. To achieve the president's goal to put a man on the moon, the NASA needed a massive rocket to be able to put the weight of the necessary equipment and astronauts into space. At this point, the Saturn rocket concept came into play. Named for the next planet after Jupiter, the Saturn rocket design evolved from the Jupiter series rockets. After a tragic accident in January 1967, which caused the death of all 3 crew members in the crew capsule, the first successful launch of the Saturn V happened on the 9th November 1967. During this mission, called Apollo 4, the rocket brought an unmanned Apollo capsule into low Earth orbit. Different types of Saturn rockets were developed, the most important of them being the Saturn I and 1B, which were built mostly for testing purposes, and of course the Saturn V. At the end, the rocket measured 110 meters in height and about 10 meters in diameter. When fueled, it weighed about 2,900 tons and cost the taxpayers $6.4 billion. That's roughly $15 billion converted to the present day. It consisted of 3 stages. The first stage of the rocket, the S1C, was a completely new construction and had nothing in common with the first stages of the earlier Saturn rockets. It had a length of 42 meters and a diameter of 10 meters. It contained 2 different tanks, one filled with the rocket propellant, called RP-1, and the other filled with the liquid oxygen. The first stage accelerated the rocket with a thrust of 5 massive Rocketdyne F1 engines. The second stage, S2, was also a new construction. It had only one tank, which was divided into 2 chambers to store RP-1 and liquid oxygen. The third stage was a modified S4B stage that was already used previously on a Saturn 1B as a second stage. Like the previous stages, it contained RP-1 and liquid oxygen. On the 16th July 1969, the rocket fulfilled its mission when it successfully launched the crew of the Apollo 11 mission into space. 3 days later, Armstrong and Aldrin landed on the moon's surface. In the following years, the rocket brought 5 more moon missions on their way. The last one being Apollo 17 on the 7th December 1972. After that, the rocket was used to get the first American space station Skylab into orbit. Therefore, only 2 of the 3 stages of the Saturn V were used. This last mission of the vessel was performed in May 1973. Today, some remaining stages of the rocket can be seen in the Lyndon B. Johnson Space Center, the Kennedy Space Center, and the National Air and Space Museum in the United States.